Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 29th is $2 off bacon, $2 off summer sausage, and 20% off on crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about trading up. Not what you're thinking. You could never trade her in, but you can trade up her stone if you like. Signify the growth of your love, the challenges you have overcome, or any part of your love journey by trading up her diamond. Whether it's been 5 years, 25 years, or 50, say it with a bling. Big love, big bling. We got you. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
It happens. All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is 93.7 The Ticket.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Three-time national champion Vershawn Jackson.
I got a bunch all alone is Vershawn Jackson. And Vershawn will get it to the 24-yard line.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer
Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bakoven. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Yeah. I know you Jill, waiting, Jill, for the Jill Captain Show. Yeah, fastest 2 hours in radio. Let me put this down. Are you ready? No, the box not ready. Let me say it one more time, Lincoln. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let me hear it. Are you ready? In the car. Are you ready? I'm the hype man. Are you ready? That's a lie. Are you ready? Let me stop. 93.7, The Ticket Captain Show, fastest 2 hours in radio. It is he, I am him, and I'm lit.
Bach.
Oh, boy. Great show today, Bach. We got Keith Endzone Jones. We're going to set it up, though. Keith Endzone Jones. Let me ask you a question. Who was the greatest running back to come out of Omaha Central, Bach? Ooh, I'm testing you now, Bach. I'm testing you.
I'm not sure. They had that run, right? They had that run with these guys. I don't know.
You got to give me a name.
I don't know who had the most yards.
Give me a name. Forget yards. I'm saying who's the greatest running back to ever come out of Omaha Central. Now, there's a ton that played for Nebraska. There's a few that played outside of Nebraska. But I'm asking you, who's your favorite? Who is it?
You have to list them off for me. I don't. The high school specifically, I'm not sure. I don't have Omaha Central pride all over.
Leotis Flowers, Calvin Jones, Keith Endzone Jones. You've got Gritsby. You've got somebody that you would kind of relate to. Horn. Let me
David
see.
Horn.
David Horn from Central. Absolutely.
I love David Horn.
Absolutely. There's a lot. I said Leotis Flowers, right?
Yeah.
Let me think of who else. And I'm drawing a blank, but Keith is going to remind me. I didn't want to give you this name. Text line's open for a That's a Lie shirt. Who can tell me the greatest running back ever to grace Omaha Central? I'm giving a That's a Lie shirt. Bach don't know it. So anytime Bach doesn't know it, that's a stumper. Any text line guess?
Not yet.
Not yet, because they don't know. If you're in the studio, anybody want to take a guess to get a shirt right now? If you're in the studio listening, or you're in the mill, I see you, you see me. Take a guess. Or That's a Lie shirt. Who's the greatest running back in the history of Omaha Central? I'm not going to just give it away. I want to. Any guess? Do you have one yet?
I could make another guess. Gale Sayers.
Oh, you cheater. You're such a cheater, Bach.
I didn't cheat.
You did. You looked at the test line.
No, I knew Gale Sayers played in Omaha. I didn't know where he played in Omaha.
Well, how did you know he went to Central?
I didn't know. That's why it was a guess.
Who told
it was
you?
An educated guess.
That's a lie. You get a shirt after this show. You get a shirt.
Hey,
seriously, Bach? Seriously?
Yeah.
You didn't cheat.
I didn't cheat.
Well, why didn't you say Gale Sayers from Jump Street?
Because I didn't know which school he went to. I knew he went to.
How did you learn
Omaha.
that he went to Central?
Well, he's one of the big. I didn't learn that he went to Central. I just knew he played in Omaha, and is widely regarded as one of the biggest misses in Nebraska history for in-state talent.
Great educated guess. So we'll talk to Keith Endzone Jones about all types of things. How to get to Nebraska, being from Omaha. We actually played for the same little league coach. He was born in 1966. I was born in 1975, and we still play for the same little league coach, okay? We should have played for the same high school coach, the legendary Coach Reed. We'll talk about that later. I'm not going to go there right now. Now, Bach, all types of football going on. The favorites won when it got down to the nitty-gritty.
That's right.
The favorites won. Now, you can go back and I don't know what show it was, but I've been yelling Philly from the rafters since day one. And I said, hey, y'all want to get 15K? You want to win 15K like the captain did against Tampa? I said, bet $500 on Philly now. That was in the summer. Who's in the championship game, Bach?
Now, Philadelphia punched their way in.
Huh?
Faced the Chiefs. Rematched a Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Now, there's so many storylines that it's kind of a 50-50 flip as far as what the NFL wants to do for entertainment purposes. Do they want to go? Listen to me. Do they want to go with the 3-piece with biscuits and gravy and all that stuff and make Kansas City take somebody's team tag off of their back as America's team? Because we know if they win 3, Kansas City is America's team now. Because generations, how many years in a generation, Bach?
I'm not sure.
40. Guess what? In a generation, no one will know who the Cowboys are. That's how long it's been since the last championship. Kind of the same type of correlation with Nebraska football.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the same tag as Nebraska football. So why am I saying that? Hey, listen, I heard somebody say on TV the other day, athletes should just shut up and play, right? I heard that. Now, sometimes some people take that negatively, right? Some people take that as energy and drive when somebody says that to them, okay? Here's what I'm going to say. Stop talking. Stop talking Nebraska football. Stop it. Shut the front door. Let your play do the talking. I'm so sick of it. Stop bragging. No one cares. Who cares? Don't matter. It don't matter who you got in the transfer portal. It don't matter who you recruited. It don't matter who came back out of the transfer portal. It don't matter the guys that were already on the roster. Guess what? If they don't play kick-ass football, we're going to be talking about it again. Same rhetoric. Now, for how many years, Bach? If we lose next year or go 6-6, it's a losing season. 7-5, still to me, losing season. Here, how many years would that be in a row of losing seasons?
Well, it's a different. That's changing the language of losing season. But, hey, you'd still kind of have to go back to the Bo Pelini years. So what's that, 10, 11 years?
I mean, come on, man. My granddaughter's 10 years old. She has no idea why her mom, my daughter, loves Nebraska football because they don't win. She's like, they don't even win. Now, my grandson, who's 2, he loves Nebraska football because his grandpa comes around all the time with Nebraska stuff on. He wants to be like Paw. Now, I'd imagine if I came around my grandson with LSU or Oregon or Iowa, he would want to be that. Anyway, tell us about the game, Bach. I'm not going to bore us. Tell us about the game, Bach.
Which game?
Kansas City and Philly. I mean, what happened? How did they punch their ticket?
Yeah, it was obviously championship weekend, and with the, I don't know if you saw this to keep it related to Nebraska too, that Dylan Raiola, Dawson Merritt hanging out in the Chiefs locker room afterwards. Even Isaiah Pacheco took a little.
Say that one more time. They was doing what?
They're hanging out in the Chiefs locker room afterwards after the AFC title win. As Terry Braden, of course, the Chiefs defensive line. I don't know what his official tag there. He's going to come over and be a defensive line coach for Nebraska. Still working with the team, so there's the connection there. But it's funny because Isaiah Pacheco just did a little video with Dylan Raiola in there, and then also showed Patrick Mahomes sitting in the corner. Of course, Dylan Raiola, somewhat known for his imitating of Patrick Mahomes. Of course, they have the same quarterback coach and all that, so they know each other. But it's
why not imitate greatness?
Yeah.
If you can't beat them, join them or try to be like them. That's what's wrong with, I don't want to tell you, but that's what's wrong with some institutions, that they forget the guys who came before. Let me bring it down a notch. So if you don't know the guys who came, if you don't know how good they were, let me ask you this. We're talking to Keith Endzone Jones here at the next segment. Tell me a running back right now in the last 10 years that was better than Keith Endzone Jones. Why is so quiet? Why is so quiet?
Has not been necessarily a position of strength for Nebraska.
I'm just now. Do you know what Omaha Central's moniker is? You know what they were called? I back high. I back high. So I back high. We'll ask Keith Endzone Jones, what does that mean to him? I back high. Anytime you got that kind of name, I back high, you better be producing running backs. Now, I think they got a good running back over there now, Haney. I don't know if he's still there. From what I hear, there's tampering going on in high school. Let me say that again. There's tampering going on in high school. Because from what I'm hearing is these young men who are in these public schools who don't have the best coaching, and then they star, even though they have not the best teams, they star, and then a team like a Millard North or Millard South in no perspective order, what's the other? Bellevue West, there's another team, Millard West. All these teams come and they'll pluck from the Omaha public schools the best player. So what does that do to the public school system when they pluck the best player? It's the same thing that's happening in college football with the NIL when they come in and pluck your best player and be like, dang, our best player said he's going to Nebraska. So what did that do to maybe it didn't always help Nebraska to be a dominant football team, but what did that do to the team that he left? Oh, you're not going to talk back to me, are you? You just want me to talk today, don't you? I'm preaching. Come on, Bach, give me some feedback.
What was the question?
There ain't no question.
Oh,
I'm making statements here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, these are statements.
Okay.
You don't want to get involved. Stay on the sideline, Bach.
Well, no, you're right. I mean, it's you know, it's going to happen in high school, and it's happening at the mid-level in college. You know, and it's tough to build a program. But again, I'm not surprised that it's kind of made its way to high school, and to a degree, it's you know, it's kind of been part of that before, but it's probably ramping up a little bit more now in the modern age when you see the people at the next level doing it. You're going to do it at your level.
Huh? Just saying, you know, at some point, where's the drive to want to be great? Because to me, the money has melted, watered down the drive to want to be great because you've attained things that normally it takes you to get to the NFL to attain. These young men would not be driving Chargers and Challengers and Hellcat Durangos and all these other crazy cars if the times wouldn't have been different. Now the times are different. Now, what drives them to be great? Is it the money? Is it the money?
I mean, that could be a pretty big drive.
To be great?
To be great.
Well, it should be. It should be.
It didn't seem to get in the way of Quinshon Judkins or Jeremiah Smith or any of those guys at Ohio State who won titles and
you talking about
still made a lot of money.
Talking about these youngsters?
Yeah, I'm talking. Jeremiah Smith, the guy
He's
could
been
be
making a lot of money.
Yeah, making a lot of money.
Okay, I'm not saying. Here's what I'm saying. That's because they have a team around Ohio State. You understand? The culture is built at Ohio State to be great football players, to compete amongst each other every day. Do you feel like we have the same culture?
Well, I mean, we can look inward at ourselves and try to figure out a problem. But at Arizona State, you know, they don't have as much of a big NIL operation. There is NIL, so there was money there as opposed to a few years ago at Arizona State, and they still were able to be great compared to Sun Devil standards. So again, yeah, you know, there's a lot of changes in football and how it's changed over the years. But there are still teams that do it at the top, and Nebraska's got to emulate that, figure out how to do that.
It's called intensity. It's called I want it more than you, Bach. I don't care that you're bigger than me, Bach. I don't care that you're stronger than me, Bach. I don't care that you're faster than me, Bach. I'm still going to beat you. I'm going to find a way to get it done. Where is that level of heart and mindset? That I don't give it, you know what happens, we're going to win. That starts as a family. The entire team has to think that way. So you can't have a guy over here that's cool with his payola that might only give you 50%, and then a guy over here that's not getting a dime that's giving you 150%, but he'll never be good enough to play in front of this guy that's giving you 50%. He'll never be good enough. Talent-wise, he's not as talented as that guy. But you know what? For me, for my team, I'm playing the guy that's not as talented that makes the best team mindset. He has the best because it builds my team, not my player. Cheer. When we get back, Keith, end zone, Jones. Guess what? We're powered
by
Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Brand.
excavating.
That's right, fastest 2 hours of radio. You know what it is. We have begun. We'll be right back.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Copple, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at CoppleCars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Copple. So please stop on in or visit us at CoppleCars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Hello. Thank
Angela, we have to break up
But why?
because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. You see lots of sunshine. It will be breezy. See an afternoon high near 53. Tonight, mostly clear skies and light winds, with a low around 25. And tomorrow, we'll see sunshine return with a light breeze and an afternoon high near 56. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hutt for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Sports Show!
The 56th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show is bigger and better than ever. January 31st to February 2nd at the Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Don't miss it.
Sports Show!
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Da, da, ya, da, 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 da. 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Captain Show, fastest 2 hours in radio. I know. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in someone who I've watched since I was a little dude. And when I say a little dude, I mean 12, 11, 10, 9, when my mind was like, who is the person that I want to be like? This is one of the guys that I wanted to be like because I was a running back and I wanted to be the best running back ever to come out of Omaha. So without further ado, my big brother, 1987 senior year, Keith Enzo Jones. What's up, Keith?
Hey, what's going on?
Man, it's good to hear your voice, man. Been a while.
It's been a minute. Yes, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. You know it.
I already know, man. We have a good time, both of us being from Omaha and all that good stuff. I want to jump right into it, man. When you came to Nebraska, who recruited you?
Coach Fisher recruited me, of course, along with Coach Osborne. I would get occasional visits from Coach Solich, running back coach, but Coach Fisher was the main recruiter for Omaha.
So we were both from Omaha, and I asked you this. We were talking on the phone. I had to ask you this. So take me back through the programs that you were in as far as Little League, and just go to high school, and then we're going to stop at high school because I got to stop at IBAC High, as Calvin would say, IBAC High.
Right. Well, I started Little League football. I actually went out and tried out for a team called the Gate City Steelers. Most Husker fans would know his daughter, Tom Ivy, Martise Ivy. Tom's dad, her dad, was the head coach for the Gate City Steelers. And so that was the first team that I actually participated on. But I ended up, right before the season started, leaving that team and actually went and joined the Little Red Machines, better known as the Swagers.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and that would have been Coach Dunbar.
Yes.
Was the head coach there. And so that was my first taste of real organized football. And had a ball plan, with a lot of young men that I went to grade school with, and just to be able to compete and have fun out on the football field was quite exciting.
So you moving on through the ranks, you moving up the ranks of Omaha running backs in junior high and all that stuff, Little League. And by the way, I played for the Swagers and Bill Dunbar. 9 years later, I was at that same deal with the same coaches. Think about that you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You talk about consistency and why we made it. We got the same coaches.
Right. You had the same same environment. You
Same
know, when you're in a particular environment and you got consistency with coaches that understands the environment that you come from and that you're in, all of their coaching and all of their coddling with the young men that they work with, all was meant for a certain purpose, and that was to make sure that you had the best opportunity possible at that stage in your life, and then preparing you to be handed off to whoever your high school coach is going to be.
Now, did you coming from junior high school, you went to Omaha Central, and I know you had a bigger brother that was at Benson, who also played for the University of Nebraska, Lee. And so talk a little bit about how did you find your way, not going to Benson and following Big Bro, but going to Omaha Central?
Well, all of my siblings went to Benson. I'm the youngest of 7. I mean, so all my siblings went to Benson. On the athletic side, I had both my older brothers were athletes at Benson High School. My brother Tony, who's the oldest brother, football, was a great wrestler. And then Lee, of course, football. He did a little wrestling, some other sports, but his main thing was football. So the anticipation was that I would end up going to Benson High School. But one of the things that happened was during that time, Coach Reed, I think he was about a couple years into the head coach position at Central High School. And I remember him approaching me with another man by the name of Bobby Bass. And ironically, Bobby Bass was a all-state, 3-time all-state football player, running back, that went to Benson High School, ironically.
Right.
So I was aware of who Bobby Bass was because I would go to some of the Benson games and watch him play. And at that time, I mean, he was spectacular. I mean, so when he came with Coach Reed, and I was told that he was actually the running back coach at Central High School, it was a no-brainer for me at the time. I mean, so that's pretty much how I ended up at Central High School.
But when you say that was a no-brainer, it was because you watched Bobby Bass put in work, and then now he's a coach, and you get a chance to learn from somebody that was great to you.
Absolutely. Bobby was the type of guy. He was in your face type of coach when you needed it, and at the same time, he was a loving type of guy. He put his arm around you and tell you, you better than this or you better than that. And also, let me share this little short story. I grew up in a religious church-going family. And another connection that me and Bobby had at the time, he was actually in the ministry or beginning his ministry. And so at the time, I was kind of having a hard time with all the time that was going to be necessary to be spent out on the football field and kind of bouncing that time with, some of the church duties and stuff like that. That my mom at the time in her household, I mean, there was just certain standards and certain things that you was going to need to do. So he was one who actually helped me balance thinking through that whole process. I mean, so he was a mentor in many different ways, not just for myself, but for all the other I-backs at Central High, his tenure the whole time that he was up there. And that was for a number of years that Central had I-backs coming out of there.
So we fast forward. Let me ask you a question. Why is Central called I-back high? Why?
Well, I think it goes back to, number one, the type of offense that they ran. It was the I formation offensive system where the running back or the I-back from the I-back formation is what we ran all of our plays out of. And to be the guy at that position, number one, you have to want it. And I think for me, deciding to go to Central and watching guys ahead of me, and one guy in particular, a guy by the name of Terry Evans, who was a standout all-state running back, by the time I got to Central, it was just one of those demanding positions that you either loved it or hated it. And most of the guys I think that went to Central, including myself, love the fact or the idea of touching the ball, 20, 30 times a game in order to be a difference maker for your football team.
Why you went on 5'9", probably back in those days in high school, you were 150 pounds soaking wet?
155, 160 maybe. And I mean, you look at, it's kind of comparable to some of the running backs, today at most of your schools. Not very big guys, but that was my size at the time in high school. But by the time I was a senior at Central, I was about 100 and maybe 70, 75 as a senior.
So why did you choose Nebraska over Washington?
Well, boy, if you recall, at that time, Nebraska offense was called the Scoring Explosion. You had Turner Gill at quarterback. You had Mike Rozier at I-back. You had Irving Fryer at wingback. And so watching those guys play and being able to go down on Saturdays and watching them in person live, I mean, it was just something to see, and to want to be a part of that, being here in Nebraska and being from Omaha and being as competitive and as highly ranked as the Nebraska football team was at that time and playing for a national championship at that time, that was the deciding factor for me. Now, don't get me wrong. University of Washington had a lot to offer. In my freshman year at Nebraska, after I decided to go there, that same school, University of Washington, ended up winning a national championship. I mean, so I feel, two great options. And, of course, there was a little bit of a question as to, well, what if I would have went to Washington? But by the time I got to Nebraska and was in the program and competing, I didn't really second guess, especially going into my sophomore year and moving forward.
Before we take a break, I got to ask you this question because there's a lot of people that really don't know. People think you got that End Zone Jones from college. Where did that name come from? And because Calvin seemed to think that he was the first End Zone Jones, and I would ask Calvin, like, how is that even possible for you to be the first End Zone Jones if Keith is 7 years older than you?
I think that was one of the thorns in Calvin's side. Me being older than him, and of course having the last name Jones. It was unfortunate for him because, of course, that would have been a great nickname for him also. But I got an opportunity to wear that nickname first because my teammates in high school was joking around and trying to find a nickname for myself. We was actually doing nicknames for each other. And a guy by the name of Bruce Cullum, who I actually played Little League football with the Swagers.
Wow.
He was one of my receivers when I played with the Swagers. So we had known each other for a number of years. And Bruce Cullum is the one that gave me that nickname. And when he gave me that nickname, it would have been my junior year in high school. It stuck throughout high school and then on throughout college, which ironically was a surprise for me because even though my high school teammates called me End Zone, when you get to college, things kind of start all over again. So I wasn't sure if that was going to stick or if guys would even call me that. But they did, and they still to the day they call me End Zone.
That's what I call you. Easy,
yeah, right?
Easy. So
yeah.
Okay, so because we're gonna get into it a little bit, but I gotta ask this question too. Coming from Omaha, talk a little bit about being raised in Omaha? What was the time? And, was dad around? What was your situation growing up in Omaha?
Like I mentioned earlier, I was the youngest of 7. And I was in an unfortunate, situation, like I think a lot of young men. So my situation not much different than most. My dad wasn't around when I was growing up. So my mom raised the 7 of us. And so I grew up near North 41st Street off of Bedford in North Omaha. And so where I grew up, it wasn't necessarily considered the ghetto or the projects or anything like that. But we had challenges. Being from a one-parent home, and I mean, so it was tough a lot of times. And I think for me, participating in sports was just a way for me to keep myself busy and to stay out of trouble. Because where I grew up, there was many opportunities to get into stuff that you probably shouldn't get into. And so participating in sports was just a way for me to keep myself occupied. And as I began competing in sports, what I noticed was it actually started to become a part of my identity in my neighborhood and in the schools that I attended. And so that being a part of my identity, it just made me more hungrier to be successful in whatever sport I participated in. I mean, so that was kind of my plight growing up. Again, like most young men that I grew up with, that was kind of our calling card. Sports was the thing that we did in our downtime, and it was something that we took serious, and we competed. We competed at a very high level, even in the neighborhood amongst each other. And that's what it was all about. And that's where that hunger and that desire for success really kind of set in during that time of my life growing up.
How was you able to navigate, with you being the youngest of the brothers, because I want to dig into that because I think that's phenomenal to have older brothers. I got an older brother, but we're twins. But to be the younger of the Jones brothers, who would you say is the most athletic and who would you say is the most tough? Is it the same person?
Well, you know what? With my brothers, I looked up to both of them because they were different. They were different in different ways. My brother Tony was very athletic. Again, he was a wrestler, very tough. I mean, so when you talk about toughness, I mean, me being able to watch him wrestle and compete, that's where I got a good glimpse at being what being tough was. My brother Lee was more of a physical stature type of a guy, but Lee was kind of a no nonsense type of approach. I mean, so Lee would always use his strength and his brute to kind of impose his will. I mean, so that was his kind of asset that he had. I mean, so for me, watching those two and watch how they competed, I think gave me an edge because I would wrestle them. We compete against each other, whether it was football, basketball, whatever it was. I mean, we would just always compete in and around the house and in the neighborhood. So both of them, I credit to at least my level of intensity when it came down to wanting to beat my opponent. I mean, that's where it came from.
Man, I as I was thinking about that and I was talking to you, I said, I know why Keith had it easy. Sure, he had 2 big brothers, man, looking after him. What's the age difference?
Dude, yeah, for real. I mean,
for real.
Yep.
What's the age difference between you guys?
1 year. So I'm 1 year younger than Lee, and Tony's 1 year older than Lee. So Lee's in between.
Was Lee mad at you for going to Central?
You know what? he didn't like it, and he and other guys from the neighborhood who went to Benson, they let me know that they was going to, when we played, that they was going to let me know how disappointed they were. But at that particular year, those first 2 years, they wasn't on our schedule in football, but we all compete against each other in track. I mean, so, and I can say that with both of my brothers, I got the upper hand on both of them because I did field events. My brother Tony was a triple jumper, long jumper. And so we competed in that. And then my brother Lee, as big as he was a sprinter.
Wow.
And so Lee ran sprints and he threw shot put. And so we got a chance to compete, in track and field. Now my senior year, we did play Benson. And again, I had some friends from the neighborhood who, it was a tough game. And they was trying to hold me under 100. They got close, but I was still able to get 100 yards off of them.
Did your brother ever get a chance to get a hold of you?
Oh, man. Not in high school, but like you said, Lee went to Nebraska too. I mean, so once we were in Nebraska, it was ones against ones at Nebraska.
Yeah.
So whether it was Lee, whether it was Neil Smith or Broderick Thomas or Lawrence Pete, any of them, Danny Noonan, any of them. I mean, I had a chance to go against those guys every day in practice.
Right. Okay. So we want to put a thumbtack in that. We're going to put a thumbtack in that because when we get back, we're going to talk about Keith Jones, your time at Nebraska, what it meant to be a Nebraska running back, what those practices look like, all that stuff from the mid-'80s and why they were 10-2 and playing in a bowl game every year. 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
M-Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. The end of season clearance is going on now with up to 50% off. Stop in now for best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coat, dress pants, and dress shirts. M-Suits Clothiers, your menswear store.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sports Show! The 56th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show is bigger and better than ever. January 31st to February 2nd at the Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Don't miss it.
Sports Show!
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Brighton plays Everton at 9 a.m., followed by Man City versus Chelsea at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Aston Villa takes on West Ham at 10:30 a.m., followed by Fulham versus Man United at 1 p.m. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back with Vershawn Jackson. Powered by Bauer. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Cheer. 1, 2. I'm back on 93.7. The Ticket. Captain Show. Bach, how tall are you?
5'10".
How much you weigh?
Oh, close to 200.
Wow. So if you were 5'9", 176 playing with, and the defense was Neil Smith, Broderick Thomas, Lawrence Pete, Danny Noonan, I think the linebackers would have been what? Mark Mumford. I mean, if you playing with those guys and you're 5'9", 176 and you get it done, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. No. Yeah, well, that's what Keith did. He got it done. Keith, when you went to the University of Nebraska, who was in that room? Name some of those running backs that was in that room that you had to compete to get to the top.
Well, Mike Rozier had just left, and you had Jeff Smith. There was Doug DeBose. There was
Paul Miles.
Yep. There was a couple guys who came in a year before me. John Kelly, who was out of Lincoln Southeast. And then there was guys who came in with me. Tyrese Knox from Daly City, California, who was a stud running back. So that was just to name a few guys that I was looking at competing against my freshman year at Nebraska.
Coach Osborne promised you the starting spot. Didn't need to get you to come?
Oh, no. you know, T.O., he wasn't promising anything, you know, and but he did tell me that it was going to be competitive, and that's the one thing he warned me about. But my thing was, you know, I came from an environment where it was always competitive, so I embraced that idea of having to compete.
Talk about Coach Solich would have been the running backs coach, who arguably, to me, is the best running backs coach ever.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep.
Okay. The drills.
Yep. You can argue that for sure.
Okay. So talk about Coach Solich. What was his style of individualized coaching for you guys? Because there's a couple of drills that we did when I was a fullback.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm just wondering, did y'all do the same drills?
Of course.
See?
Of course. You know, the thing about Coach Solich, Coach Solich was a fullback. And you know Coach Solich's stature.
Mm.
I mean, he was every bit of what, 5'8"?
5'5".
5'5".
150.
Yeah.
Get into me.
And he played collegiate football. So there was a certain level of toughness that he exuded. And when I was there, and I'm sure years after I left, when you was there, he looked like he could still play.
He still looked like he could play now.
Yes.
I seen him last year. I'm like, Coach. And I grabbed him. And let me tell you something. For a 70-something-year-old man, he bristled down, and I was like, all right, Coach, I'm going to leave you alone now.
And you know what? You weren't the only one that would challenge him like that. Every guy would kind of challenge him. And again, like you said, he bristled down or he stiffened up, and wasn't nothing you can do.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, so that wasn't I'm thinking back then that was a me and him thing. You telling me he was like that with all his guys.
Oh, he was, yeah. Anybody that wanted to step up or wanted to, you know, challenge him, because, you know, he walked, you know, he had his little methodical walk that he did.
Yeah,
you know,
his
kind of
toes.
soft walk.
Yeah.
You know, his arms were kind of bold, you know.
Popeye.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and because of his height, guys thought that they could challenge him. And but the toughness of any Nebraska running back was on display, because they knew that's what Coach Solich that's what he stood for, and that's what he expected out of his players. With every drill that we did, from pass protection drills to what we used to call the lift drill.
The lift.
The lift drill, which, you know, you get pinned into the sideline, you ain't running out of bounds. You know, you dip in that left or right shoulder, depending on which shoulder was inside of the bounds line, and you was letting whatever defender was trying to take you was taking them on and getting them off you with that lift drill.
Do you think that lift drill that you're talking about? Because have you seen that lift drill be demonstrated?
No, and that's what frustrates me the most when I watch some collegiate football now. And I'd say even at Nebraska, those running backs, they don't use it. You know, some of the most fundamental things is when you're running, which ball you got the arm in.
Yes.
You know, because it was indicative for us to make sure if we're running to our left, that ball was in the outside arm in your left arm.
Yes.
If you run to the right, it was just the opposite, because you want to make sure that free arm was going to be used to get defenders off of you.
Yes.
I mean, so that lift drill, whether it was a lift drill, whether it was a stiff arm, we were always taking on a defender. If we couldn't beat them one-on-one, then physically they were going to know that they were in a battle. And that was just the mindset. And if that wasn't your mindset, you weren't going to play.
Period. No, there was no in between of that situation. You either had it or you didn't.
You either had it or you didn't, and there was a certain competitive edge that you had. You just had to have it. You know, when I played, guys that I competed against, we weren't friends. We wasn't hanging out together and playing video games and all that. We weren't doing that. I mean, we was competing against each other. I mean, we were good teammates. if you were playing the same position I was playing, I was coming for you when it comes down to execution, when it comes down to making more plays than you, when it came down to not making the mistakes that you were going to be making, when it came down to working out in the weight room, the conditioning, all of those aspects of football and football preparation. I was going to make sure I knew my playbook. I was going to know the playbook inside and out. I mean, so that's all a part of the competition. I mean, so when you compete at that level and when you have that many guys within a program that are capable, because Nebraska back then, and when you were playing, they were bringing in guys that were capable. They weren't bringing in question mark guys. And that's what made it so competitive. And one of the things that I've noticed, today is all the guys that I see and I watch, they don't look capable to me. There's question marks with some players. And that, to me, that's where the program has kind of taken a step back.
All right. You know what, Keith, I definitely going to put a thumbtack in that question mark players you're talking about. I want to dive into that a little bit better, because when you think, like the likes of Jeff Sims and the Steven, the linebacker, and some of these guys that we go get that they're supposed to come in and be phenomenal and they come in and they're be average or below average. I want to talk about that. 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back. Keith Jones.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about trading up. Not what you're thinking. You could never trade her in, but you can trade up her stone if you like. Signify the growth of your love, the challenges you have overcome, or any part of your love journey by trading up her diamond. Whether it's been 5 years, 25 years, or 50, say it with a bling. Big love, big bling. We got you. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
This is 93.7 The Ticket.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Three-time national champion Vershawn Jackson.
I got a bunch all alone is Vershawn Jackson. And Vershawn, he'll get it to the 24-yard line.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer
Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bakoven. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All right. 93.7 The Ticket is the captain, and I'm with
Buck.
Also got Keith Endzone Jones with me. 1987, 1,232 yards, 13 touchdowns, which 582 of those yards came the last 3 games of the season. 26 carries, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, 50-yarder, and a 44-yarder. Keith, why don't we see our running backs making people miss, running people over anymore like we used to?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's the lack of preparation when you talk about whatever drills that they're not doing in practice. I think the lack of physicality that's allowed in practice throughout the week. And I think it's just a level of skill set. You know, I think what we're finding today in the landscape of recruiting today, it's to me it's pretty simple. You know, some people like to make it complex, but to me it's pretty simple. You know, there's certain boxes that you got to be able to check off in order to play for me. You know, you got to be tough. You have to be committed. There has to be a level of commitment that's not even questionable. You have to have a skill set to where no matter what game we're in or no matter who we're playing, whether it's the first, second, third, or fourth quarter, if we need a play, you're going to be that guy that can go out and get us a play. See, every player can't respond to that. And when you're recruiting and you got a guy that's not consistently doing that, then to me that's a questionable player. And if you're bringing in players that you're saying, well, we'll work with them to get them to that point. Well, you already behind the eight ball because most of the schools that you're competing against, they got guys that's stepping on the field right now that can do that. I mean, so I think that's why we're not seeing it. And as a former Husker running back, to see the minimal production out of the run game from the running back standpoint, and don't get me wrong, I know that offenses, the schemes have changed, and Nebraska's not the predominantly run team that it used to be because, they're more open, spread, kind of throwing the ball around the field type of deal. But even in that type of system, you got to have a running back that's going to get you 100+ a game because the field is spread out. I mean, so to me, that's more of an advantage for a skilled running back because you can catch the ball coming out the backfield. You can take the ball from quarterback. I mean, so to me, it's one of those things where we have got to start getting guys in our program that are proven and that have shown that they can do it at a competitive level, and not say we're going to get them to a competitive level.
When you think about all the running backs that you had to compete with at Nebraska, and then, I always say that you guys deserve a ring for 93 because it started with y'all. I'm dead serious. The mindset, the mentality, it started back then, way back then. We just happened to, Coach Osborne and them figured out if they put this pawn over here and that queen over there, that, okay, instead of running a 3-4 defense, we should go 4-3. We need to have speed at linebackers that are safeties go to linebackers go to DN. When you look at this football today, I'm going back from 2005. I can't tell you more than 2, maybe 3 running backs that I would pick before Keith Jones or before you. Why is that? How come we can't recruit a top-notch running back? Because when you came to Nebraska and you told me all those guys that was in that room, you could have easily said, yeah, I'm out.
Right.
But you competed with the guys that were in the room. Do you think if you were playing in today's football, does the NIL get in the way of you being the best football player that you could be?
Not for me personally, for some guys maybe, but that's when I mention level of commitment. I mean, come hell or high water, I don't care how much money I'm getting. My pride was in just competing. I want to be the best. So whoever's in that running back room, you're going to have to deal with me. If I'm here, you got to deal with me. And so when I first got to Nebraska, I mentioned the guys that was in the room: Doug DeBose, Paul Miles, Jeff Smith, Terry Knox. But see, it don't only stop there because even after those guys left, and you had guys coming in like Ken Clark, you had Leotis Flowers, you had Terry Rogers. I mean, the list goes on. You had what's the young man name that got in an accident?
Scott Baldwin. Accident.
Scott Baldwin. Yeah. I mean, so and it continues to go. I mean, so the prize and the accolade is being the best. It's not about the money. And so if you're a player, see, this is, to me, when you're recruiting, this is how you can separate guys who play for the glory of the game and guys who play because they want to compete and they want to be the best. You see, when you bring guys in that want to compete, they're going to make guys around them better. The guys that they're competing against are going to be better, and that's going to spread amongst the team. one of the greatest opportunities when I look back on my experience at Nebraska was not just the running back room, but the lineman room, both offense and defense, the skill positions, wing backs, linebackers, whatever the position was. It was all about competing against each other. We didn't care about Oklahoma State or K-State or Oklahoma or Colorado. We didn't care about them because we knew that if we came to practice each day and we beat up on each other, we competed against each other, that come game time, that was going to be pretty easy. I mean,
why do you think we've kind of, I mean, to me, when you look at what we do on the football field, it looks like we went away from that. Why do you think they went away from that mentality?
Well, I think the number one reason is because of depth. They don't have the depth that we used to have. When I say depth, I'm talking even if you go too deep. If you can go too deep, skilled players or linemen, if you can have at least too deep competitive depth at least too deep, you're going to be pretty darn good. The problem is the depth isn't there. The quality of depth isn't there. So when you've fallen off from your number one to number two, when number two is not as good as number one, and you having that fall off on multiple positions, that's a problem. Because guys going to need to take a break. And God forbid anybody get injured. That's a starter. Because the backup's not as good, so that's a problem. And especially with being the Big Ten now. We know what the Big Ten is all about. We knew what the Big Ten was about before we even joined the Big Ten. And things have changed so drastically now, even with newcomers in the Big Ten. So that even makes the road even a little bit harder to climb.
Why do you think in the last 10 years it's been so tough to get a running back with that monarchy, with that sauce, with that make you miss, with that I'm gonna lift drill you, with that perfect ball technique? Why has it been so hard for us to get a big time running back here?
Well, I think it starts with the lack of winning consistently. No matter how good a guy is, he wants to win. I mean, that's the number one thing. The reason why I came to Nebraska was because I wanted to win. I mean, I had opportunities to go elsewhere, but any athlete, any guy that's competitive, they want to win. I mean, so I think, again, Nebraska has put itself behind the eight ball because it's been tough. It's been tough to get wins. You know, it's especially since, you know, we've been in the Big Ten. You know, the competition is stiffer overall. And when you have players, and don't get me wrong, I think players Nebraska got, I think they play at the maximum level that they can play at. Unfortunately, if that skill set isn't as good as most of the other teams in the Big Ten, they can give their all. And we've seen them lose games by one possession, one score, consistently. And that's what happens. When you don't have guys that can go out and make plays when plays are needed, you're not going to win those games. I don't care how hard you practice. I don't care how hard guys play. It's just not going to happen. So that's the challenge that we have. Now, how do we turn that tide? I think we begin to turn that tide by winning football games. You know, we got to knock off of Michigan. We got to knock off with Ohio State. You know, within our conference. I'm not talking about non-conference games, because to me, non-conference really don't count very much. But within conference, we got to be competitive enough and bringing in players that we know from a skill standpoint are just as good as guys at the top schools in the conference.
So
that's the only way we're going to be competitive, because that's what we did That's when it was the Big 8 when we played.
Okay, so think about this for a second. Keith, you got coaches at the University of Nebraska that have always been in the top 10 in pay, right?
Yeah.
You've got NIL now where you can pay players, okay? So when we talking about this, we're talking about a blue blood program like Nebraska, and let's take an Indiana, let's take an Arizona State, let's take a SMU. How is it that these institutions, and for me, it's because they groom them into being that number one guy. Like Genty was not a Heisman Trophy contention 3 years ago.
Right.
Like you didn't go into the University of Nebraska, even though you had great talent. You had some things that you had to learn that really turned you into Keith Endzone Jones at Nebraska.
Right.
We haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher. I can't tell you who was the last 1,000-yard. Help me, Bach. Who was the last 1,000-yard rusher?
Was it Amir?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what comes to my mind. It probably was Amir.
That's unbelievable because when I think, okay, you had 1,287 yards. Now I'll go through 2,000. That wouldn't have led Nebraska in rushing.
No.
Not after that time. And I'm thinking, I go back and I say, man, we used to have 4 running backs over 500 yards or more. Oh, I don't know. Divine Ozigbo?
Yeah.
Okay. So Divine Ozigbo was the last 1,000-yard rusher. Would have been what year?
Was that 2017? 2018?
Which and here's the deal. He wasn't even the starter.
Right.
He was the backup. So who said those two guys in front of him was better and he should be on the bench?
Right. Yeah, because they rode him at the last of the season. I don't know if it was because of injuries or what it was, but they rode him. They leaned on him. I mean, so he was able to get a bunch of carries.
Okay, so I want to dive into this question and then we're gonna throw it to break. But I want to throw this at you real quick. I've always looked at the old school, and you guys have always motivated me because I wanted to be like y'all. When we played Kilderman, I wanted to be Mike Rozier.
Yep.
I wanted to be Endzone Jones. I wanted to see how many times I could get in the end zone like Endzone Jones. I wanted to be Calvin Jones out there while I'm watching you guys. Kilderman, I wanted to be you guys. When you talk about history of the game, do you think this generation of young men know the history of Nebraska? 1, running backs. 2, Nebraska history as a football team. I'll let you think about that. We're going to throw it to break. I know I teased you guys a little bit, but think about that, Keith, because I want to dive into that. There's something that we're looking for that I we'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket. Yeah. Keith Jones.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Brighton plays Everton at 9 a.m., followed by Man City versus Chelsea at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Aston Villa takes on West Ham at 10:30 a.m., followed by Fulham versus Man United at 1 p.m. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Sports Show! The 56th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show is bigger and better than ever. January 31st to February 2nd at the Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Don't miss it. Sports Show!
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK, make flying easy.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about trading up. Not what you're thinking. You could never trade her in, but you can trade up her stone if you like. Signify the growth of your love, the challenges you have overcome, or any part of your love journey by trading up her diamond. Whether it's been 5 years, 25 years, or 50, say it with a bling. Big love, big bling. We got you. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. See lots of sunshine. It will be breezy. See an afternoon high near 53. Tonight, mostly clear skies and light winds, with a low around 25. Tomorrow, we'll see sunshine return with a light breeze and an afternoon high near 56. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hutt for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket. This is the captain, and we are broadcasting live from 11th and O Street in Lincoln, Nebraska, but we are across the world on Twitch, Twitter, Allo, Facebook, everything. So we appreciate you guys listening and riding with us for the fastest 2 hours of radio. I'm with my big brother, and I call him that, and I don't use that loosely. I'm with my big brother in the game, somebody that I wanted to emulate and be like, Keith Endzone Jones. Keith. You think about that question?
I thought about it, and to me, it's pretty simple, because when you don't know the history, then how do you even consider where you're going to end up? For example, when I went to Nebraska, going in, we mentioned the guys that I knew I was going to be competing against. But see, it wasn't about just those guys. See, to me, it was about Mike Rozier, who already left. It was about Roger Craig, that people don't even mention a whole lot these days. You know, all NFL Super Bowl champion, I think 2-time, maybe 3-time Super Bowl champion, led the league in rushing and receiving. Matter of fact, one of the first to do that in the NFL, receiving and rushing. I think he had 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing.
Yep.
I mean, so, and not only just stop at Roger Craig, but it goes back to I Am Hip, goes back to Jarvis Redwine. So when I came to Nebraska, it was my duty to isolate on my position, and I would encourage any Husker that's playing today to isolate on your position, learn your position, learn the history of players that played in your position, and then challenge yourself to be amongst those players, those great players that played before you. And see, players, it don't seem as if players are doing that these days. Because whatever your legacy is going to be, you have to define that based upon knowing the history. And where are you trying to settle in amongst the greats? And if you're not doing that, and if you start that process and you say, damn, man, I don't know if I can do that, or I don't know if I could be amongst those guys, well, then that simply says you don't belong. I mean, what are you doing? Those are the type of players that we have to recruit and we have to retain. And we got to make sure that they're doing that personal insight and homework on the history of the program, the history of the position that they're playing.
Why don't you think? But why don't you think that's been pushed though? Why if we know that as former players, don't you think the regimes and the administrations, why don't they push that?
That's a good question, Vershawn. You know, That's a good question, and maybe it's because of the turnover, coaching turnover. Maybe these coaches are trying to find their footing. They're too busy trying to, wrap their arms around, how to get wins and how to win over particular recruits that they're losing. I think the comfort level. I'll use the word comfort, but I think during Coach Osborne's regime, you had coaches there and you had a staff there that was in place, and players kind of had that confidence and that assurity that I'm going to be here with these coaches, I'm going to be here in this program, and I'm going to lean on them to help me learn the history of players and talk to them about certain players. And at that time, it was players that they actually coached. When I was there and I was talking to Coach Solis about the running backs, and it wasn't just running backs. We was talking about fullbacks also. So learning that history and being able to lean on coaches that could share in that history with you. And I think you have to be able to have a coaching staff in place that can begin to do that. I think there's just been so much turnover in recent years at the program that everybody's still just trying to find their footing, players and coaches together.
Do you feel like they I can go back to all kind of different regimes, but I'm going to go back to just the last 2-3 years. Do you feel like they've truly embraced the legacy of Nebraska football?
No. I don't, because to me, when you look at Husker greats, guys that's been in the program, that's played in the program, from all generations, you got to have those guys coming back to the program, sharing their experiences, sharing their stories, and giving these young men today firsthand experience on engaging with guys that's been there and that's done it. And when you don't have guys consistently coming in doing that, then there's a gap there. There's something missing. And so I know for a fact at other universities that I have guys that I played in the league with and have kept in contact with over the years. That's what a lot of their universities do, And I can't speak to one time where I was actually come back and speak to a team.
Not one, not a group of running backs, nothing.
No. See? No. Now, when Coach Solis was there and Coach Osborne was there, they would make sure that they did that.
Yes.
But see, to me, that's where some of these newer, more recent coaches, that's where they're kind of missing the boat, because they have access. We're accessible. Most of the former Husker players are accessible, and they would love to come back.
What is that, though? What is that mindset? Because I look at you guys. Now, you can say a lot of people can argue that the 1995 team in defense was the best. I get that part. But when you break that 1987 defense down, you gotta put them in that top five.
You have to.
You have to.
And because the success of those guys. I mean, just not just the names, but it's proven when they went on. Those guys from that team, they went on to the next level on defense.
Right.
Neil Smith, Broderick Thomas, Danny Noonan, Lawrence Pete. See, those guys went on and proved themselves at the next level. I mean, and to me, that speaks a lot to the talent you have, the commitment of players that you have, and guys that are on a mission. See, when you come into Nebraska football program and you're on a mission, you're gonna learn the history. You're gonna know the history. because you want to be amongst the great players. That's just the way it has to be. And if you're not seeking out that information and you're not putting in the work to learn it, I mean, I don't even see how you can find your footing. Because what are you shooting for?
I don't know what we're shooting. That's a great question. What are we shooting for?
Yeah.
Are we shooting for a bowl game? Is that the best it gets around here?
Right. Are we just looking to, for minimum success? Because when that's kind of the rallying call to get to a bowl game, to win 6, 7 games, whatever it is, that's minimum expectation. And when you got to be careful, because when it's all about minimum expectation and you're trying to, what they say, crawl before you walk, you got some people that walk before they crawl. And that has to be what the type of people that you're bringing in here. Yeah, I understand building a program, but there's ways that you can build a program and not take the baby steps.
You talked about a little bit, we talked earlier, you talked about the type of player, the type of players that we were getting.
Mm-hmm.
Elaborate a little bit more on what you were saying as far as what type of players are we getting and what type of players do we need?
Okay, for example, the walk-on program back then, we had guys walking onto the program that could have played anywhere in D1 programs. But they wanted to play at Nebraska. Why? Well, because they knew Nebraska was a winner. They knew that they were going to be competing against the best at Nebraska. And there were always walk-ons that made their way up to starting positions and finding themselves among some of the best players in program history. I mean, so we were getting highly recruited athletes, football players, but then we were getting players that coming into the program that maybe weren't at that same level, but these guys knew that they could be at that level. And those were the type of players that Coach Osborne, this coaching staff went after. I mean, so, yeah, you had depth. You had, 1, 2, 3 players. If one guy go down, next guy to step up, next man up. And see, a lot of teams say that next man up, but it really ain't next man up.
Right.
Because the depth and the quality of depth really isn't there.
There's a fall off. There's a drop off. Even now, when I think about that running back room, when you think about last year, even though I felt like Emmett Johnson was the guy, and I love Emmett, I think he gives us a great scat back type of guy. But I don't know if I'm putting him in that category with one of the great running backs of Nebraska. You can't put him in that I am hip because they're not. They don't have the X button, and they don't make people miss, or they're not a bruiser.
Right.
So it's like to have you, and this is why I want to have these level of conversations, because to have a Keith Jones who's got all of that knowledge of the position, of the history of the game, of what it took to make it there, and we not use you. Wait. Let me give you another caveat of Keith Jones. Keith Jones is a successful businessman. How come we're not putting our young men, who 90% of those guys are going to have to go in the real world?
Right.
And I don't know if they know what that looks like.
Right.
Because if I was around you in business, not just football.
Right.
I got a chance to see, dang, look at Keith. How you do that? Yeah. Because you have been working and being a businessman a lot longer than you play football.
Absolutely. And you know as well as I do, after your football days are over with, we have been, again, the environments that we come from, survival mode, the desire to be successful and to compete and be the best. When you're an athlete, when you're done playing, that don't just go away. I mean, you take that and you want to apply that to that next level or that next opportunity that's going to come your way in life. And so these young men, they need to know what that looks like.
Yes.
They need to know how to navigate that, because a lot of times it don't play out the way that you think it's going to play out. You know, and I mean, so it's just so important that it's just so important that alumni, former players get an opportunity to be able to share and speak to these young men, because some of these young men that come to Nebraska, whether they're from Florida, Texas, or wherever they come from, when they do come to Nebraska, in Lincoln, Nebraska, whether it's whatever cultural differences that they have to deal with, we've been there. We've been through it. I mean, so we can be mentors in that capacity, and help these young men how to navigate through all of that.
Yeah, something similar like teammates, just on the college level.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I tell you what, we got one more segment with Keith Jones. We'll be right back.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hello, I am Ayanna Blake, and welcome to Mind Your Mind. My girlfriend recently added a sign to her beauty shop that reads, "Life is beautiful." I know many may not see life the same way. Some may view it as hard, depressing, grievous, lonely, or even cruel. But does it have to be? I can't help but hear the reggae classic by Friday and Colonel Mike, "Life is what you make it." As I looked at her newly decorated wall with the words, "Life is beautiful," she looked at me and said, "You have to find the beauty in it." Despite how life has treated us, we must dig deep to find the beauty in it. After all, we are alive and breathing. Why not change your view and see the beauty in it? I encourage you today to change your perspective. Step back and change the direction of your view. There is beauty in everything if you look close enough. I am Ayanna Blake, reminding you to mind your mind. For more inspiration, connect with me on social media or visit AyannaBlake.com. Until next time, take care of your mind and keep moving forward on your pathway to wellness.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back with Vershawn Jackson, powered by Bauer, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. I know you're mad at me. I get it. It goes by too fast. I get it. I used to do 3 hours. I get it. Keith Jones is one of the best interviewees I've ever had on the show. I get that part. But all good things come to an end. So without further ado, I still want to get back to Keith Jones because I'm going to really throw this caveat at you, Keith.
Okay.
When you look at the coaching staff today, players today, the last couple of years, give me your assessment, and can we get it done?
I think we're moving in the right direction. I think from a recruiting standpoint, and from the portal standpoint, there's certain profile players that we have to put our foot down and say, these are the type of guys that we got to have in order to be able to, in those close games, have impact players that can make a play. If you need a sack on defense, you got to have a DN or a linebacker, somebody that can make that play for you. Same thing on offense. When Raiola put that ball up, you got to have a guy that can go get it. I mean, so I think we're missing a couple players as far as that skill set that we have to get. And once we get those guys, I think we're going to be in a position that we can really compete at a higher level in the Big Ten. With what we have right now, I think we're going to continue to make a few baby steps in order to try and accomplish what I think what Rural wants to accomplish, and I think that's getting to at least 10 wins. So my expectations on this next season coming up, I mean, it's higher than the minimum, which is, getting to a bowl game. I'm expecting hopefully this next season we can get to 8 or 9. And until we get those real impact type players to go along with Raiola, skill guys, I think we're probably another year off from getting to that 10 win season.
When you look at this offensive line, we haven't really got anything in the portal, but back when you played, that was the focal point, and that was the meat and potatoes. We knew we had a great running back, right? But you wouldn't be able to get it done if you didn't have the linemen. Talk about the linemen that played in front of you, and then why was that so important to have them and to have that initial block up front, and then after that, you as a running back, now you can't run up the legs of a lineman. That was my pet peeve.
Right.
If I'm out here blocking for you, and you, because you feel like you ain't got nowhere to go, you run up my back of my legs to give me a knee injury, I'm going to do something to you on the sideline.
Right. Well, and that's the combination that's been missing. We talked about the lack of production in the backfield. Well, my take is I had linemen that blocked for me, Bobby Sled, John McCormick, Andy Keeler, Anderson, those type of guys. Now here's the thing. Even though none of those guys went to the next level or played in the league, those guys knew the history of Nebraska football, and they knew what the expectation was and how to get the job done. See, because when I was a running back, I didn't need big gaping holes in order to be productive. My thing was if you can at least shadow the guy that you blocking, if you can shadow him and give me an opportunity just to see what's in front and which direction I need to go, that was good enough for me. I mean, so now some running backs are different, and but for me, looking at the line performance, offensive line performance as far as run blocking goes over the last few years, we talked about the lack of production of the running backs. Well, that goes hand in hand with run blocking, offensive line play. We got big guys. I think the challenge has been for those guys to really kind of get into who they're blocking and giving those running backs, that vision of which way to go. Now, it doesn't help when you got one or two guys getting beat on the snap. And that's what you see consistently when you talk about the run game, or you talk about RPO. I mean, it's just things just haven't been clear. And a good, solid offensive line can make things so clear and so much easier offensively that, some of these games that we've played in have been close. I mean, I think you would agree with me. Defensively, we've played well enough over the last couple of years to have won, 9-10 games defensively. But I think it's been the lack of production offensively and more so the run game that is kind of has strapped.
End Zone Jones, man, fastest 2 hours. Turn it back down a little bit and back here. I'm coming. Fastest 2 hours in radio. This stuff happens so fast, man, that there's so much more I need to talk to you about. So I'm going to ask you on air, will you come back like at the end of the week if you got time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Because we just tipped the iceberg, and there's so much more to uncover here in the Lay Bear that I think the people want to hear. And I want to tell you, Keith, thank you. Thank you for inspiring a young kid from the projects to want to be like you, to want to be a running back, to want to go to the University of Nebraska, and to have that dream for me come true. I owe it to you. I owe it to the Calvin Jones of the world to say thank you.
Absolutely, man.
We'll talk about Calvin Jones next time we get Keith Jones on, and hopefully I'll call you, Keith. Thank you again. Any last words to the fans out there?
Well, I think for the fans, it's continue supporting, the players, because I think the one thing when you talk about motivation and guys wanting to get it done, those players down there, they want to get it done for the fans. I mean, so just keep supporting them and keep cheering them on.
Keith Endzone Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Keith, we'll talk to you later. I'll call you, brother. And for you coming back, no question. You got to come back because the people love you. So we'll talk to you in a minute. Turn it up, Pac. Okay. We're power. Power.
Infrastructure.
Power.
Underground.
Brand.
Excavating.
Listen, I'm with
Bach.
Thanks, Keith Jones. I'm the captain. Black Shirt to be back in tomorrow. We'll be back. Fastest 2 hours. Holla.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the